patriots, lovers of democracy, truth, and justice, believers in peace, freedom, and the American way. Thom Hartmann here with you. And boy, we've got a big show and a lot going on today, but right off the top, Senator Bernie Sanders is on the line with us. Senator, welcome back to the program. Senator?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
I am great, Tom. How are you?
I am fine. So glad to have you with us. This continuing resolution, it seems like the Republicans, presenting Democrats, maybe with a Sophie's Choice, chip, DACA, whatever. What is going on with this government shutdown, and how should...
What's going on is that it is clear that despite the fact that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, they basically can't govern. They can't do their most fundamental job, and that is to provide an annual budget. They're going from month to month. This continuing resolution that they are proposing for 1 month is the fourth continuing resolution we have seen, and that is pathetic and that is wrong. What's going on here right now is there are three fundamental issues that have got to be addressed, and we just cannot continue to kick the can down the road. The first one is the issue of parity, and that means that for every dollar that Republicans want to spend on defense, and they want to spend a whole lot on defense, and I have problems with that. But for every dollar they spend on defense, we have got to spend on programs that protect the shrinking middle class and deal with folks today who are struggling economically. And what that means, Tom, is that right now they have not even been able to reauthorize the CHIP program. That's the Children's Health Insurance Program, or the Community Health Center program that provides health insurance to 27 million Americans. Can you imagine that?
It's
We're
astonishing.
3.5 months into a new fiscal year, and they can't even do the basics in terms of reauthorizing health programs that have been around for many, many decades. So that's one thing we have to deal with right now. We're going to reauthorize CHIP for the children. We're going to reauthorize the Community Health Center program for 27 million Americans. Then you got all kinds of other issues. You know, the Republicans are interested in tax breaks for billionaires, in throwing millions of people off of health insurance. Well, that is not what the American people are interested in. The American people are worried about pensions. We got 1.5 million Americans are going to lose a good part of the pensions they were promised. We got to protect them. We got a Veterans Administration has 30,000 vacancies right now. We got to start filling those vacancies and protect the veterans who put their lives on the line to defend us. You know, we have a massive student debt crisis in America. People who are listening to this program now are falling further and further behind because they're paying off at high interest rates their student debt. That's an issue we've got to deal with. We've got to deal with child care. We've got to deal with infrastructure. We've got to deal with the opioid and heroin epidemic. It's not just military spending. So what Republicans have got to understand, which they do not understand right now, is that for every dollar you're going to spend on defense, we're going to start protecting the needs of working families. That's issue number one. Issue number two is the dreamer issue. And that is that we have 800,000 young people, people who have lived almost their entire lives in this country, people who are working, people who are in school, people who are in the military, people who know no other country as their home other than the United States of America. And what Trump did in September, as everybody knows, is he rescinded Obama's executive order on DACA, which gave legal protection to these 800,000 young people. And right now we're looking at thousands of them losing their legal status already, and that will become worse after March. This is an issue that has to be dealt with. There is good, not great, but decent bipartisan legislation that Dick Durbin, Lindsey Graham have been working on. That has got to be passed. And the last major issue out there is disaster relief. Once again, we had a major disaster striking Texas, Florida, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. We still haven't dealt with it. So we cannot continue to kick the can down the road. We've got to deal with these issues. That's what this is all about.
What is your suggestion to the Democratic Party in terms of strategy around all this?
My suggestion is they make the case to the American people that we have got to deal with these issues. And you know what? Everything that I just told you in terms of what I think the priorities are overwhelmingly supported by the American people. All of the polling that I have seen in terms of the Dreamers suggests that between 70 and 80% of the American people, including a majority of Republicans, believe that we should provide legal status and develop a path towards citizenship for these 800,000 young people. And we have got to stand firm. This was a crisis precipitated by Trump. We cannot turn our backs on these young people. And on all of the programs that I mentioned to you, whether it's Social Security, whether it's the CHIP program, whether it is community health centers, whether it's rural infrastructure or child care or student debt, the American people want us to address these programs. So we have got to be loud and clear to the American people what we are standing for, what we are fighting for, and that is simply not just greatly expanding military spending. We've got to pay attention to the middle class of this country.
Remarkable. Spot on. Senator Sanders, you are always so spot on these issues. Thank you so much for dropping by. I know you have to get out fairly quickly. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or is that?
No, I just look forward to continuing the discussion, Tom. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. And you too. Great talking with you.
Right,
Senator,
bye-bye.
Thank you. Senator Bernie Sanders with us this morning. Boy, what a what a charge there. Yes, do it. Okay, what's a Democrat to do given the Sophie choice? You know, the amazing thing to me is that the Republicans control the House and they control the Senate, and yet the media in the United States is perpetuating the Republican myth that the Democrats somehow are going to be the ones who decide these issues. It's not the Democrats. They don't have they don't have a majority in the House. They don't have a majority in the Senate. They don't control the Supreme Court, and they don't control the White House. This is, as Bernie was pointing out, Republican dysfunction. And if there's war inside the Republican Party where the hardcore right-wingers, the cokeheads, want to just completely do away with all these social programs and, you know, no more Medicare, no more Medicaid, you know, cut Social Security or privatize the whole thing, you know, that's a problem for the Republicans. That's not my problem. I mean, it's a problem for all of us as Americans that the Republican Party is so dysfunctional. But for the media to be saying, well, you know, will the Democrats go along? You know, the Democrats are going. Right, come on. The Republicans have a majority in the House. The Republicans have a majority in the Senate. The Republicans have a Republican in the White House. They can pass any damn legislation they want. It's real simple. So, you know, are they going to pull it off? I don't know. But I mean, you know, it's going to be a real interesting time here. And the thing is, this is point counterpoint put together a graphic that Thomas Paine tweeted to me over on Twitter. The 10 things Americans fear most a Republican president will do. And I'm curious if you want to add to this list, if there are things that you're concerned about. I'm concerned about all of these. Start another war for profit. Draft 17 to 29-year-olds specifically for war. I'm in favor of a draft that has a community service component and that offers absolute free college. But that's a whole other thing. But, you know, for war. Push the Social Security age back to 70. This has been proposed by a number of Republicans. Start another recession like the great Bush crash or the Black Tuesday we had under Ronald Reagan. Number 5, the Republicans will only help the rich. Number 6, the gasoline prices will go up again. Well, you know, oil has gone up $20 this year, which certainly helps out, what, like Coke industries? Maybe. Unemployment will go back up. Health insurance rates are going to go up. College fees and loans will go up, and more government intrusion in our lives. That's that.